Welcome back to my channel, everybody. My name is Christopher Bell. I am the host of Strongman Personal Finance, where I do book reviews, I talk about stocks, I talk about building wealth, and I talk about how you can abandon your BS financial beliefs and actually achieve financial success. Now, I'm not going to be nice, okay? I'm not going to tell you that everything's okay and that you can just blow your money on whatever you want. I'm going to get in your face and I'm going to tell you that you're full of crap and that you're wrong and that you need to fix yourself or you're going to be poor your whole freaking life. So that's my channel. Welcome. If you like that, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get to the video. Today, we're going to review Chris Hogan's, this handsome man right here. Everyday Millionaires. Now, who is this handsome man? Very, very handsome man. He is one of Dave Ramsey's media personalities. He's one of the guys and gals that goes on the show with Dave Ramsey. Because one day, old Dave is going to retire, and somebody's going to have to take his frickin' place. And his daughter is okay, but he has a bunch of people that come on because he wants to eventually retire. Maybe. This is one of his media personalities, Chris Hogan. And he wrote this book where he and Dave Ramsey analyzed and interviewed thousands or tens of thousands of millionaires to figure out common themes about what makes a person a millionaire. Now, I know a lot of you brainwashed clowns think that if you have a nice watch, or you drive a Tesla, or you live in a massive house you can barely freaking afford, that means you're rich. That means you're probably a millionaire. Well, guess what? You are so freaking wrong, it's not even funny, okay? So what this book does is it actually dispels some serious garbage myths about millionaires. And we're going to jump right into it, all right? I'm going to go and hit some key points that I read in this book. All right. Point number one. Here's how freaking brainwashed our society is when it comes to wealth, okay? People equate income to wealth, which is totally freaking wrong. Now, the first thing that he talks about, 74% of millennials, my favorite generation, and 52% of baby boomers believe millionaires inherited all their wealth. That's the stereotype, okay? Every millionaire is just a lazy, disgusting, spoiled, privileged person that does nothing except destroy the world and cause chaos and has no responsibility. Well, that's complete and utter BS, okay? Most millionaires are first-generation millionaires, and they actually come mostly from middle-class households. And there's a couple key ingredients that make you a millionaire. Because if you're irresponsible and you inherit your wealth and you don't understand money, you're going to blow it all very freaking quickly, okay? I know it's hard to understand because Hollywood puts all these BS ideas in your head, but it's freaking true, all right? So that's the first thing that really shocked me. 74% of millennials think millionaires inherited all their money. Jesus Christ. Who's teaching these proto-communists? Anyway, next fact that this book talks about. 79% of millionaires received no inheritance at all from their parents. 79%. So even though 74% of millennials think that millionaires got all their money for doing nothing but just inheriting it, the truth is 79% didn't get a freaking dime from their parents, okay? And the vast majority of the rest only got $100,000 or less. So waiting for a freaking inheritance until your parents die is a stupid idea, and it's not going to make you a millionaire, okay? And these are actual millionaires that they talk to, all right? Next, what else? Like I said earlier, 8 out of 10 millionaires come from families at or below the middle-class income level. Now, I know CNN and the Young Turks probably told you that millionaires they're just so spoiled and privileged, and they just come from wealth, and that you can't become one. Well, that's BS. They're freaking losers and they're lying to you. Because they actually talk to millionaires in this book. In this book. And 8 out of 10 came from middle-class households. Crazy. I wonder what actually makes people a millionaire. Let's get to that. All right. This is a key fact. Very key. And I harp on this on my freaking channel all the time. But none of you like to listen to me. Because, I don't know anything. I'm young. I haven't experienced life. The number one contributing factor to millionaires' high net worth is investing in their retirement plans. Oh my God. Do you mean to tell me that if you max out your 401k every year, which is $19,500, and you max out your IRA every year, which is $6,000 or $7,000 if you're doing catch up, if you do that consistently and you invest into the stock market, which is return on average 10% before factoring in inflation every single year, you mean to tell me that you could never become a millionaire? Well, guess what? You're freaking wrong. The best way for an average middle-class person to become a millionaire is to invest in tax-advantaged accounts. Your 401k at work, your IRAs, HSAs if you have money left over. And if you've maxed all that out, you can also invest in a taxable brokerage account. If you do that consistently throughout your entire life, and you start when you're young, and you don't screw off partying and being an idiot, you can actually make a lot of money and easily become a millionaire. I know I'm going to be a millionaire, and it's not because I'm special. It's because I freaking save money, okay? It's not hard. You just need to fix yourself. All right, what's the next interesting fact that I saw in this book? 88% of millionaires graduated with a bachelor's degree, compared to only 33% of the general population. Now, I want to get one thing clear. In this book, they say that these millionaires graduated with a bachelor's degree because that gives them a skill which they can leverage to increase how much money they contribute to their retirement accounts every month. But that doesn't mean that just getting a freaking bachelor's degree in BS is going to make you a millionaire, okay? You can also screw up and get a bachelor's degree in worthless or communist studies and not get a job and be in massive student loan debt, and you're going to be a negative millionaire, okay? So this is important because it tells you if you go to college, yeah, you're more likely to be a millionaire. But you need to go to college and get a good freaking skill, all right? Like accounting, like becoming a CPA. And they reiterate, 68% of millionaires with a college degree never took out student loans. Now, I know a lot of you really want to go to these prestigious colleges, okay? You want to go partying or the frat house, and who cares? Because you're only going to live once, right? And after you graduate college, life is just boring. Well, let me tell you what. I did the college thing, okay? I went to frat parties, and I drank myself to death. And guess what? I'm actually healthier and happier now than I was back then. I'm actually enjoying my life more now than I was back then. So the whole point is, you don't want to go into massive debt to go to freaking college to party because your life isn't over after college. And if it is, that's because you're a freaking loser that did nothing but party and study BS in college, okay? Life actually does get better as you build wealth and get a good job that you enjoy. There's more to life than just college. So don't go into massive debt slavery just to enjoy college. Stay away from student loans. Do whatever you have to do. Work in the summer, go to the cheapest freaking community college you can. Whatever you gotta do to save freaking money. Because if you go into debt, it's gonna suck to pay off. And you're not gonna be happy. Okay? Next, what's another interesting fact that I read in this book? Here's a very important thing. Now, remember we talked about how most people come from a middle-class background that are millionaires, and they contribute to their retirement plan. Do you think that most millionaires are these super high-level executives with their ties and their jets? No. Only 15% of millionaires are in a senior leadership position in their companies, and only 7% are C-suite, which is like the CEO, CFO, blah, 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 executives. So, 70-something% of millionaires are just average Joe and Jolena working a regular job, living frugally, investing their money in low-cost index funds, hopefully, and maxing out their tax-advantaged retirement accounts. Oh my God. Trust me, it freaking works, okay? I've never made more than $100,000 a year, and I have a good chunk of change in my retirement account, okay? Consistency. Contribute to your tax-advantaged accounts. All right, what's next? Interesting fact, number 20,000. 85% of millionaires describe their parents as savers. Of these, 13% said their parents were extreme savers. Well, that actually makes me feel good because whenever I have children, they're going to see Daddy lives in a tiny townhouse and he has a Ford Fiesta and he doesn't spend money on BS clothes that cost $1,000, and they're going to go to school. And their little friends are going to make fun of them. You don't have an iPhone. You don't have the newest gadgets. And they're going to be upset. But one day, they're going to realize that daddy is freaking loaded because he didn't spend money on BS like a massive house or buying brand new cars or spending all this money on clothes that don't make you happy, that satisfy you for a couple hours, and then you're freaking miserable again, okay? And maybe they'll actually learn. And when I give them money, when I die, maybe they'll become super rich and use it correctly. But the whole point is, you actually have an influence on how your children view money. And don't let some freaking idiot tell you that, oh, you can't control what your kids do. You can have an influence on them. They watch you, they learn. And one of those things they learn is being good with your freaking money, okay? 85% of millionaires had parents that were savers. Wow. What great role models those parents are. All right, what's next? 95% of millionaires plan ahead and save up for big expenses, compared to 67% of the general population. Now, the biggest expense that I see parents not planning for, that I think is just so stupid, is not saving for their kids' college. Now, some parents don't want to pay for their kids' college, and that's fine. Some parents do, though. But what they do is they freaking wait till their kid is like 16, and then they're like, what? College actually costs money? What? And they don't do freaking jack for the first 16 years. And then they realize, oh my God, I have to pay $15,000 a year to send my kid to college. And then what, do they co-sign student loans or have their kids go into debt to attend college? Well, guess what? If the child is born and you start contributing to their college 529 plan, even $50 a month, after 18 years, you're going to have a lot of freaking money in there. And you can easily afford, as long as you're not a screw-up, to send them to a community college and then have them finish out the last 2 years at a regular college, hopefully with some scholarships and the 529 money supplementing that. So if you start saving and you have a plan and you do it consistently every month from the day they're born, they're going to be set up. And yes, you can spare $25 or $50 a month. You can do that, or you can spend $20,000 a year and go into massive debt when you're in your late 40s. It's up to you. Have a long-term plan. What's next? 73% of millionaires have never carried a credit card balance in their lives. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't use credit cards. But what a balance means is you charge stuff on your card and you don't pay it off in full. So when you have a balance on your credit card, you actually pay interest. But if you pay your credit card off in full every freaking month, you don't pay any interest. And it helps build your credit score, and you actually get rewards points. So if you have 5% rewards, you can save 5% of every dime you spend. Well, 5% of every dollar, whatever. 5% of every dollar you spend. So don't carry a freaking credit card balance. Don't be a freaking child and just rack up your credit card because it makes you feel good. It's stupid. You can use a credit card because you need it to build up your credit score to buy a house, but if you do use it responsibly. And if you can't control yourself, then don't use a credit card. And also admit that you're a child with poor impulse control, okay? So don't run a balance on your credit card. That's pretty common sense. Next, it took the average millionaire 10.2 years to pay off their homes, and 67% of them live in homes with paid off mortgages. Well, this is one thing. And although this is the case, this is a fact. They determine this. I don't necessarily think you need to pay off your home in this low rate environment. You don't need to pay it off fast. And I've done other videos about that. But if you do decide to pay off your home, okay. You're not getting the best return for your money, but it's better than just blowing it on nothing. So having a paid off home is kind of an indicator that you're wealthy, that you have $1 million or more. But you can also become a millionaire without paying off your home fast. So you can watch my other videos to learn about that one. But they determined it, so, I trust them. I believe them, so that's probably the case. Next, 80% of millionaires are married compared to 49% of the general population. Now, this may shock you, but if you have 2 incomes or you have a couple working together to support a family, it's actually easier, and you actually have more money coming in. And with that extra money, you can invest it. Now, I know it is possible to raise children on your own. But is it easier to raise children with one parent or 2 parents that are working together? And if you get married and you don't get freaking divorced, you can actually jointly build wealth. Because if you get divorced, you're going to lose half your freaking money. And it sucks. I know. Trust me. So if you get married, stay freaking married. And if you don't think you can, then don't get freaking married in the first place. But it's a good indicator that if you're married, it's going to help you on your path to becoming a millionaire. So that's some of the key facts that I learned from this book. Now, if you're kind of obsessed with personal finance like I am, you're not going to be surprised by a lot of the things that you're going to learn in this book. The big key takeaway that you need to take from this book is that you can become a millionaire. I'm an example of it. I have never made over $100,000 a year. But just based on the amount of money that I've saved, I know by my late 40s, I'm probably going to be a millionaire because I consistently save my freaking money every month. It is a priority. Before I do anything else, if I'm not maxing out my IRA, I'm in a freaking panic. It is that important to me. And if you have that mentality where you need to max your 401k and your IRA before anything else, besides food and survival, but you know what I mean. If you prioritize that to the point where you're panicking if you're not saving, you will achieve millionaire status. It's all about consistency, okay? And it's not going to happen fast. You're not going to flick your hands and buy Tesla or trade options or short stock, bro. But if you invest consistently in well-diversified index funds, like VT perhaps, ETF, you can build wealth over time, okay? That's the whole lesson of this book. Now, I hope I dispelled, or me and Chris, C1 and C2, helped dispel a lot of myths about wealth. You need to break free of your brainwashing and the propaganda and the BS that so many socialist, communists, and brainwashed people put into your head. Being wealthy or becoming wealthy is not freaking hard. You live in a wealthy capitalist society. If you live below your means and invest your money consistently, you will become a millionaire. It's not freaking hard. You just make it hard because you spend your money on BS. Okay? Well, that's it. I hope you like this review. Like and subscribe. And you guys have a wonderful day. Tschüss.